Well, a wonderful Thursday morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, PD Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, to you wherever you are. We say thanks for being part of the conversation and welcome to this episode of To The Point for today, the 11th day of the month of August. And I want to say a special welcome back to those of you that's joining us on television. GBN Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20 if you're in cable. Or if you're joining us via the Classic platform, Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. And a warm good morning to those of you that's joining us via the different social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, or you're probably chiming in via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd. Thank you and welcome to this conversation. I'm Joseph Kador, and indeed it's a pleasure being here with you on a Thursday morning. Certainly, I know we woke up, well, some of you not necessarily that you would awaken to it. Most of us, we were agitated for the greater part of the night over a video that went viral that involved our double world javelin champion, one of our national heroes, Anderson Peters. And certainly we've seen a myriad of mixed reactions and emotions via the different social media platforms. Some utter disgust, an outcry, some demanding justice. And certainly while it is yet early days, it is an incident as it is that has taken one of national and epic proportion. It has literally gone viral already. In case you're just waking up to it, certainly we are going to run the video for you and then we'll open up the lines. Just have a conversation as it is. Was this supposed to happen? I mean, are those things we have control over? And what should be, if ever at all? Because I guess you may find varying sides of the coins, and as we respond, and we offer a response to this really unfortunate incident that took place last night involving. And I must say that the investigation is still on. It is yet early days, and we're not necessarily sure as to what extent. But here we have, as you can see, the footage that went viral on social media, where we can see Anderson Peters being thrown and literally being manhandled by a group of individuals as it is, via one of the party vessels from last evening. So that's the raw video as it is, and certainly it is amateur video. But we're going to get into the conversation. Our national hero. What should the conversation be? Should it be a national response? Are Grenadians overreacting, or this is just what the response should be? That's the conversation that comes up next on To The Point. We take a quick commercial break, though, Master Control, and we'll be right back.
Vaccines protect you and they protect me. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Once enough people are immunized, opportunities for an outbreak of disease becomes very low. And if we all choose to get vaccinated, we contribute in getting back to spending quality time with our loved ones in a safe way. Choose to get vaccinated. Vaccines bring us closer.
Mentioned the wing high, and you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products, or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Thank you. Thursday morning it is, 7 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the morning time. And welcome to this another episode of To The Point. We've really agitated the conversation for you. But joining me in studio, no stranger to Grenada, no stranger to the GBN, and is the man Troy Garvey. Good morning, Troy. How are you? Welcome to the program.
Good morning. It has been a very painful night. Very, very painful, and even worse this morning. And it's sad. And I've been around, and let me just lay the reasons why I think it was fitting for me to be here this morning. This program we're on right here, this program was my brainchild. Started this program, built this program, and it's something, a lasting legacy here at the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I've been a part of the carnival landscape since a toddler. I grew up in the bungalow with a mass camp right next to me, and not my brother's mass camp. I'm talking about mass camp I swear you don't even know of, George and Arthur Cord on the Carronage playing mass with Angel Harp Steel Orchestra, Phoenix Angel Harps and Shell Angel Harps, and I can go back and back. I was in St. George's when the Vico and Shortney came down and make a mockery and had all the incidents in town in the early 70s. I was in the band. You know what came back to me was how the elders in the Angel Harps took all of us, the youngsters, from the front of the band and brought us in the center of the band to protect us, to ensure our safety in the town of St. George. I remember that. And when it came to my attention last night to see a Grenadian, let's forget who he was, a Grenadian, being treated in that manner, it really lay a spear into my heart. Like I say, I've been around carnival for many, many years, and I think probably in the future I'll still continue to be. I've served. I tell persons, the Soca Monarch, my idea. Myself, mainly me and Brian Pitt, who brought the Soca Monarch here. Monday Night Mass, I lay claims to the origin, and these are things that we can test and put out. Nobody's here to beat their chest, but I'm here this morning to see how a national hero. 3 weeks ago, we were all up in arms, Grenada to the world, 90 meters plus, the greatest ever. Gold medal, the best in the world, a national hero, soon to be Sir Anderson. And we allow him to be treated that way.
Okay.
No, just let me speak.
But when you say allowed him, Troy,
hold on.
I mean, that's a bit.
No, I'm not. I do not care. And I'm being hard about it. Unless Anderson came with a javelin and punctured 25 people on the boat, or whatever the case may be, to justify that sort of reaction. Don't get me wrong. There ought to be a proper investigation.
And there is one.
The treatment of how he was treated, I cry shame. For the persons who did not step forward and come to his assistance, instead took all their cell phone cameras and saw it fit to record, film, to post a national hero. And I'm going to lay claims now. I have lots of friends. I have dear friends in Trinidad. And I can go on and on for the way he was treated in that environment. No one came to his assistance. No one came to his rescue. No one. And for him to be tossed overboard on the Carronage water just like that.
Okay, so and I'm understanding you and I, we are on the same page when it comes to a lot of things. But that which you made a reference to, the issue, that culture, and I think we've agitated that conversation already, where we've over a period of time, we've shifted from I'm your brother's keeper, I've got your back. And that has become part of
Anderson,
the prevailing environment.
No, hold on. Anderson had our backs. 3 weeks ago, he carried this country on his backs, and he ran and he threw 90 meters. Last night, thanks, I understand, to the boss, Jalen Boise Olive, Mr. Bihari, and Shortleg, who stood up and tried to assist in some way. Everybody else was posting on their phone, taking a picture.
But the people that I saw posted, as I said, I understand the emotions, that it is raw. And I know
hold on. Just no. I don't think you understand.
No, and I will probably never understand. But I'm trying to at least put a semblance of emotion. Appreciate where you're coming from. But the recordings that were taken, from what I saw, were taken from individuals on the shore, not necessarily on board.
Hold on. On shore, a step away. You know what these persons were waiting on? The persons, most of them that was on the shore, waiting to go back on that boat. I call on the Grenadian DJs, the Selector Beasts, the Black Storms, and all these guys never to step foot on that boat again. If they follow the lead of Boise, no local artist will go. The harbor master should not be allowed to come back in these waters. That's my opinion.
Right.
Hold on. Even now, I hope that the Ports Authority, I hope that the Ministry of Finance, I hope that the coast, because as far as we're concerned, that's a crime scene. We beat up a man and throw him overboard, and there need to be some level of proper investigation. The boat should be detained and think to ensure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, and all these things. This could not have happened. A Grenadian boat could not have gone to any other market and something like that happened.
And I'm agreeing with you, Troy, wholeheartedly. The challenge I have, though, is that we now become a judge, jury, and executioner. There is an investigation. What
are we investigating? Hold on.
What caused it? How did it start?
Hold on.
Is it an issue because
hold on. What? And this apparently, from all reports you're hearing now, this is not the first. The second or third incident on that boat.
Okay.
So probably it's a culture. It's a culture. But who did we do it to?
And okay.
And hold on. A national hero. What could he have done for 5 men? 5 men. 5 men to do what they did and toss him overboard.
But let me ask the question, and I'm asking it in all objectivity, Troy. Something must have sparked this.
Something must have.
Yes.
So hold on. Did he kill somebody?
I'm not.
Did he? Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on. So are you trying to seek? Verification or rational for him to be treated that way?
I am not. This is not.
But that's what you're trying to say.
No, Troy. My job is to stay down the middle, and I understand your emotions, and I can live with it, and I associate with it in some semblance. But it's not for me to sit here and, in your capacity, well, this is what should take place without there being a full investigation.
No, we have to have. There must be an investigation.
And I'm agreeing.
There must be an investigation. But all I'm saying is that how our national hero was treated. I have a problem with the Grenadians that was there that didn't step forward. I have a problem with the Grenadians who were waiting to go back onto that boat. In any other country, that boat was under the water. In any other country, that boat was under the water.
Under the water in what sense, sure? Because
in what sense? Let us think. But we got to be real, boss. What is frightening to see how we treat our own. The promoters and so nobody, I don't know of anybody, I've spoken to persons this morning, have stepped forward and issue a statement condemning the actions. Nobody. Have you seen any?
I haven't. The only thing I saw related specific to that is a release for the RGPF.
The Minister of Culture stepped forward last night.
Right.
The Minister of Culture stepped forward. We have not heard from the RGPF put out a statement. They are investigating. But I think Grenadians need to take a stand. So they should not patronize that boat no more. That boat, we should ensure that all the VATs and all the arrangements with the Port Authority and everything are taken care of before that boat can leave this country. There's an investigation. I hope the investigation take 10 years for that boat to stay and rot down in Coast Guard base. Because come on, one has to be real, man. one has to be real. This youngster has carried this country, has made us proud. He came home after doing on business of the state, representing this country to the highest level. How do we justify? How do we justify?
And I don't think there should be a justification to
showing the world how we have treated a national hero. I don't normally come forward. I see things happen. I've been around this landscape, this platform. Persons don't hear from me.
But isn't that where, to me, if you ask me, I may use the word is to make seem a bit hypocritical, Troy, and I'm saying it in all respect, in that the culture that we saw emanated last time, God forbid it was Anderson. Maybe it took Anderson for us to say, okay, wow.
So what are we? Because I don't go on those boats.
Right.
I've never been on those. I'm not going on those boats. And it's ironic, you know. Andrew Basinski and Jeffrey Thompson will bear me out as one of the persons who started this Moonlight Cruise many, many years ago.
That was in the early days,
on the Rum Runner.
In your twilights.
I accept that, and I've served with distinction and served well. And to this day, I can say lots of the things that I've seen happening. I can look back and say they can't do it as good as me. Grenada will tell you will never be able. You might try. Lots of persons have tried to sit in this chair on this morning, but everybody will make reference to Troy Garvey being in this chair doing it to the point program.
Well, I'm Joseph Kadu. You know,
so I'm just saying dynamics. So. But I'm just telling you this, that I think that as a Grenadian people, as a party people, we ought to take a stand. And I hope the DJs, I hope the artists, I hope those persons step forward.
And I'm agreeing with you, Troy, in all honesty. My challenge, though, is for us to rush to start becoming judge, jury, and an executioner without a full investigation, a report. Let's do the reverse of this. I'm not here to defend anybody. Had it been an incident that happened in Trinidad, with the reverse, and the Trinidadian authorities decided, you know what, I don't care if it's Troy Garvey, if it's Ban Ki-moon, whoever it is, let's do this.
You want me to tell you what you really want to know? If we reverse this situation with a national hero in Trinidad on a Grenadian boat being treated in that manner, you want to know what would have happened? You really want me to tell you?
Feel free to speak.
Think about it. Think about it. Other places we protect our heroes.
And I agree, Troy, but there is due process in everything.
There would not have been any due process.
And if that doesn't make it right.
Hold on. There would not have. What? Let us be honest. Let's be honest. What do you think that Mr. Peters, our national hero, could have done on that boat? Did he come on there with his javelin and spare 25 people?
Well, you don't know what happened. I don't know.
But what could he have done to justify that kind of response?
And I'm not agitating that it was justified. It's justifiable. All I'm saying that is, and I understand that right now we are on.
I urge.
We are doing this.
I urge that Commissioner Edwin Martin do a prompt and speedy investigation using all the resources at disposal to him. I hope the Ports Authority. I remember years ago there was an incident with boats, and Port Authority had to step in and seize the boat, ensure all the legal implications are taken. I hope all these things happen. And I hope the Ministry of Finance would have, just as how they intended to send VAT inspectors and so to all the local feds and so, step in to make sure that all the requirements on that boat and other so-called boats have come in, and we understand. And also call on the Spice Master and the Ministry of Culture to understand what is happening to our carnival and the direction where it's going.
But you say you say carnival, which is a carnival-related event?
Why was the Harbour Master here?
No, I'm asking because we need to be clear and inform those.
Why was the Harbour Master was not here in Easter? Everything that has been happening in Grenada for the past month is carnival-related.
Okay, so get me to understand Anderson's scenario and carnival as it be. What if it had happened on any other cruise ship? So is this something specific against the Harbour Master? Oh, I'm asking.
Yes, it's specific against. It happened on the Harbour Master. It apparently is a culture of the Harbour Master.
Okay, so there's a culture.
People. There are other reports of people being manhandled on that boat.
And why was it? Why nobody?
Because hold on, probably nobody stepped forward. But right now you're hearing those reports. So that's why we're calling to ensure that the authorities, all areas, do what they're supposed to do.
And I'm agreeing with you.
And it is not. And however, it's not just because it's Anderson Peters. It could have been any Grenadian. It took Anderson Peters, unfortunately, to magnify it. And I cannot see. I would love to know what the person that I know, the Anderson Peters that I know, that what he could have done to justify being treated in the manner in which he was treated.
And because I agree.
I'm also calling on the DJs, the Black Storms, the Selector Beasts, the Short Legs, and so all the promoters who frequent the boat and feel that it's all cool and it's hip and hype. As a Calypsonian once said, when the carnival is over, we have to look for the issues. We have to return to our own. We have to ensure that certain things are in place.
And I'm agreeing with you. 23 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. My guest this morning, Troy Garvey. We're good, Troy. We're good. I mean, I know this one has hit home to you. It has hit home. We have to take a quick commercial break. Thereafter, we'll open up the lines to get some of your sentiments on the conversation at hand. Right here on To The Point.
Vaccines protect you and they protect me. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Once enough people are immunized, opportunities for an outbreak of disease becomes very low. And if we all choose to get vaccinated, we contribute in getting back to spending quality time with our loved ones in a safe way. Choose to get vaccinated. Vaccines bring us closer.
Mentioned Winkai, then you have things like Manumos, Force Combat, We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Are you a small business and would like your business to grow? Do you have an event, products, or services that people should know about? Be wise. Advertise. Book your spot on GBN Shopping Guide. Be part of Grenada's biggest advertising medium, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Call our sales department now on 440-2446 or 440-3033 or GBN plus the number sign. Email us at sales@gbn.gd. Special conditions apply.
Thank you. Welcome back to the program. 25 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock. It's To The Point. A special warning to those of you that's taking in the program via the different social media platforms, be it Facebook, YouTube, or you're coming in via GBN Television or Classic Radio. My guest this morning, Troy Garvey, and we really belching on some issues here as it relates to the incident that went viral last time regarding Anderson Peters, our national champion. Mr. Garvey is in studio with me, but we do certainly want to open the telephone lines to get some of the sentiments from you, the general public. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Good morning.
Yes, you're alive. Go ahead, please, sir.
I just want to say that Grenadians are very lawless people. They are very lawless. Right now, as far as Grenada is one of the most lawless country right now. And this shouldn't be happening. I think we should have relevant authorities working on that boat whenever they had this kind of program. The other thing is that asking relevant authorities to untie the police officers' hand in this country for them to do their duty. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. And I guess just as a word of caution and reminder when you do call into the program that we conduct the conversation via the telephone. And I know you're tempted to want to hear yourself, but it's a telephone conversation that we are having. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, I'm just here listening, and I'm calling to voice my opinion, my concern, and my experience dealing with these same people. Not from the Harbour Master, but these in Trinidad. And I'll face some serious victimization in Trinidad just because I'm a Grenadian. Because I went to school there for 3 years. So I could tell you, they don't like us. Quite frankly, I'm saying it frank and plain, they don't like anyone from any country who they think or they deem is to be much poorer than their country. And I could explain some things, and I could share my experiences with you, if you would allow me to. At least 3 experiences. Would you?
But you have to be very brief with it, sir. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. I started school in Trinidad in Form 3. The very first day I went to school, someone from the back row spat on my pants, a coal. Mucus was on my pants. Right? The very said school. In those days, the guys used to take the silencers off for the bike. So used to make really loud noise. One bike passed by the school once, and the teacher who was in the class said it had to be a Grenadian or a Vincentian. If it was a Trinidadian, they do not know that there was a school there.
Okay, so let me ask you before we dilute the conversation. What timeline, when are you referring to, sir? Because that culture is a culture that I sure most of us we've heard of. And I would find it very difficult to believe that your position that they don't like us, I mean, I don't think that's a sentiment. And even Mr. Garvey in 60 capacity would even say that Trinidadians don't like Grenadians.
I will never hold on.
Let me just wrap it in. So let's put it in context, sir, before as I give you a few minutes to wrap.
Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I went to apply for an ID card in the EBC in Port of Spain, right? And the senior workers at the EBC were referring to me as a freshwater. How would you put that? What do you think that is?
And again, sir, excuse me, sir. Let's put this. I don't want us to open a Pandora's box here and we dilute the conversation. When are you referring to, sir? This something happened.
I'm speaking in the 90s. I'm talking about in the 90s.
In the 90s. So is that a separate incident you have? Because I know the schools I've worked in Trinidadians for years.
And I could go on and on. I could go on and on. So I'm telling you, there's a general perception they victimize us.
Okay, sir.
They're very prejudiced against us, and this is what's been playing out here right now.
Okay, sir. Fair enough. Okay.
You understand?
Thank you, sir. Troy?
Let me make it abundantly clear. I don't think this is an issue of Trinidad versus Grenada. I personally have some of my dearest and closest friends are Trinidadians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Trinidadians have played a very crucial and important role. They have contributed to the development of a carnival. I can call names. Winston Gypsy Peters. I can call the names. As a matter of fact, a close friend of mine, a Trinidadian friend, stayed in my house for the carnival. Have been here every carnival. We saw the performance of Kiss on Carnival Sunday night. There are very positive persons, great people. Leroy Calise, Roy Cape, Errol Piru. I can call names. David Rudder. I could persons who are great persons from Trinidad that we embrace. We're talking about an isolated matter on an isolated craft that apparently that there is a problem.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with Trinidad. If you understand what I'm saying, I want to make it abundantly clear. This has nothing to do with the overall people of Trinidad and Tobago.
And I'm happy that you say that.
Abundantly clear.
And I'm happy that you say that.
We're talking about one bad apple, which means to be a 2-decker blue boat that is presently parked in Port Port St. George, the harbour master, not the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I will come to the defense right now, right here.
And I'm happy that we're saying this because I know there was an incident in the news where we had a crew that went to Trinidad and they had some unfortunate experience and there was an outcry. And it's very often when these things, emotions, it tends to boil over. Where to from here, Troy? And while we're on the issue of our national heroes, because very often it is said that a hero, a king, has no honor in his country. Is this what we see here?
I have a problem. It's disturbing to know that more persons who were present did not rush to the assistance and the aid of Anderson. That's very disturbing. Where we go from here, I think that the authorities need to step in at the highest level. I think that the police has a crucial role to play, the Ports Authority, the Ministry of Finance. I think our local artists, and I know I can speak this morning after speaking to Boise an hour or so ago, that they didn't step back the foot on that boat.
Fair enough.
The GGs, the promoters, I think all 9 yards should be, because we're not talking just about Anderson Peters. We're talking about how you treat Grenadians.
I think this should, in a bigger context, Troy, should be a conversation against violence on a whole. Not just Anderson. There should be zero tolerance for violence, whether it was a local promoter or anybody else.
I do agree with that. But what we saw last night it wasn't me, it wasn't Troy Garvey, it was Anderson Peters.
It should have happened to anybody, point blank, Troy.
I understand that. We extend certain courtesies and some, okay. Our new Prime Minister could have showed up there all alone, knowing him as I do, And it's very likely that they could have treated him that way,
Well, I don't want us to stretch the conversation.
Hold on. We're talking about prominence and importance.
And importance, which I agree, Troy.
I think that this matter should not just die. And that's why I'm here this morning. I think that even Grenadians should not feel safe going back on that boat.
And that is a separate conversation that would play out in its due course and time. What the recourse is, once the investigation is completed, I have no issues with that. And I'm not here. I have no preferences in this. What I'm saying is though, and what I'm hoping we don't get too emotional. From what I'm seeing, some of the comments, Troy, via social media, is literally trying to agitate violence against an act of violence. And that is my concern here, that we get so riled up in this that it bleeds into something else.
I'm not that kind of person. But I hold dear to the belief that sometimes to clean the garbage, you got to go into the drain. And I'll tell people I've listened to all the great orators in the world, the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X and all these guys, and the Louis Farrakhan's and Barack Obama's and these. One of the persons that's stuck to my core and always tell people? Did you hear Kimberly Jones after the Black Lives Matter issues? You must Google Kim in your spare time. Google her and spend the 3 minutes to listen and understand what she's saying. If there's a culture of wrongdoing, it needs to be corrected. We speak of systemic situations, and apparently that is what we're seeing. And in our urge to have a good time, we see these things. The Harbour Master didn't come here in June or October.
So who's to be blamed? So are we blaming?
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying we need to have a holistic look. We need to ensure that our people, our Grenadian people, are treated properly, that they're respected, that they're treated how we treat other people.
And I think that conversation should go wherever we are.
But the specific incident here right now, it touched the heart of a gentleman who carried 100,000 people on his shoulder 3 weeks ago.
And I'm agreeing with you on that.
And we as a people those who were there acting and should have acted on behalf of all Grenadians, minus a couple.
So what do you, because I hear the outcry, Troy, and I understand it, the issue of people recording, that has become a culture that there was a young man that died up at that falls, Concord Falls, years ago, being recorded. He's there, being taken from the water, drowned in, and people are recording it. So this is a culture, and it has to stop. But my concern is that we do not allow emotions to overwhelm us, that it clouds our better judgment, and we're
just being real.
We're being real, but keeping our emotions in check.
We're being real. This thing happened last night. We're being real. We're being very, very real of what happened, how the person I was treated, and I look forward to see the justification for that kind of reaction.
Okay, let me ask you this, Troy. Let me just be the devil's advocate here. Let's fast forward. When the investigation is all over, it reveals that there are other elements at play that you and I are not privy to. And it would point to other elements, personally, not necessarily Anderson. Let's assume that he probably was in the wrong.
Hold on.
Let's look at it.
Okay, hold on.
Because the investigation is not even yet completed.
I'm sure something would have prompted that.
Mm-hmm.
Be it who was right or who was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You went to a football match with bazookas and guns in your shorts. 5 men. It's true he is strong, and 5 men to justify. And then at the end of the day, at the end of it, you saw the video.
I saw the video.
What I would love to know what this gentleman could have done to justify being treated that way.
And that is why I'm saying that we need to keep our emotions in check until all the details is brought to the fore. And I understand the emotions; they're right, they're real. It is up in the air. But what
you're missing the point. Hold on. Explain to me what you think that someone could have done.
Troy, I am not here. I am not the police. I'm not part of the investigation.
But no, you see, you're calling for it. But all I'm asking is saying, yes, let us investigate.
But there must be an investigation,
okay,
Troy.
Yes, there must be. But what could he have done?
And I don't know.
To justify that kind of reaction?
I don't know.
That is like, hold on, that is like telling me, that's like, in my opinion, that somebody walked down the street and picked somebody mango and you sentence him to 25 years in jail.
But Troy, we have seen some ridiculous things happen in Grenada.
Well, we saw another one last night.
My position here is not to justify, and I think there's no justification against.
We saw another one last night.
Any human being.
We saw another one last night.
Violence should not be condoned in any way, form, or fashion. But all I'm saying is, before we start casting aspersions and casting broad net judgment, that there should be an investigation that reveals the facts. It doesn't matter who it is. The facts should be out. Because I know Anderson. I've interviewed Anderson.
You know Anderson? Hold on. Do you know this individual?
I've interviewed Troy, Mr. Peters, on more than one occasion. Mm-hmm. I've had at different levels. So I'm not going to say I know him, because to know and know is two different things.
Hold on. From the person you have interviewed, the person you have spent moments with, the person you have spent having dialogue with, him, opening and speaking about his accomplishments, his background, his achievements.
Mm-hmm.
What could this man, the person that you know, what do you think that he could have done to justify being treated that way?
Troy, you're almost trying to make it sound as though I'm justifying it. That's not my position. My position right here, Troy, if you want me to get my own personal take, when we're off the air,
hold on.
We can have a different conversation. You are here in a different capacity.
I've stepped forward. Hold on. As a concern, I'm here as a concerned Grenadians and saw a Grenadian, in my opinion, being mistreated. I came forward because I have access to certain platforms.
Right.
And hold on. Outside of
due process at all times.
Hold on. Outside of cricket, in recent years, have you heard me on the media?
No.
I've deliberately avoided the media. I've been asked, I've been begged, I've been besieged, and all of a sudden I got up this morning and I felt that, look, something somebody has to say something.
I agree.
Something must be done. This should not slip by idly, because it will happen again. And apparently, it has been happening. You know, and I call for proper investigation.
Correct.
I hope that happens. I call for the authorities at the very highest level to step in and hear from Mr. Peters. Okay? I call for all the agencies of government related to ensure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And I also call on all the DJs, all the local DJs. I call on the local patronage to ensure that piece of boat on the Carenage never come back to our waters.
We go to a caller on the line, 20 minutes on to the hour. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, Joseph, and good morning, Troy. The thing about, I think this is more an issue of law and order situation here, but also it's also vexed the policies of what we have in terms of tourism and that kind of thing, having people of all kinds come in here, notwithstanding the fact that we are told they're bringing needed foreign exchange. But there have been a pattern of this kind of behavior, all in variant spectrum. For instance, years ago, a certain businessman in the tourist sector slapped some airport, some custom people. I had somebody that was affected by that, but slapped because they were being asked to. They were doing the job. That is the kind of thing that people comes in here, slap you, and so on. It took the people time before they could get any redress. So we had to ask ourselves, what kind of people are we accepting here? Even when, and that gives rise to even citizen by investment, all the stuff that could create trouble later on. So one thing for getting money, but another thing, the consequence of the money we seeking. So I would say, and in a way I agree with Troy that it's not necessarily a Trinidad issue, but there is some element of that, because look what is happening in South Africa right now with those people where they're, almost lynching them, because the so-called illegal people, anytime you have conflict or things like that, it could be war because of, and the facts are not always what it seems to be, Okay. So I think we have to be mindful and not to make it into a two-nation thing, but it is a matter mainly of law and order, and also we cannot deny that there are underlying difficulty between the two people.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye.
425-2041, that's the number on the inside. In case you just joined us, my guest this morning, Troy Garvey. Let's go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Hey, good morning there. But Garvey, I support you a million times. All the way, usually duck out. Garvey, I support you 100%. Now, all the people who was wrong, the boat at that time, and the spot should be arrested too. I had Grenadians there, men whereas women was inside the boat up and down. The boat is blocked off, the boat was open, free to go in and come and play the people walking up and down. Arresting all those who are wrong there, who do this and that, who do the video and all, and jail them too. And them support that, nobody party fight, All the men and women was there, nobody support and say, and they go different guy, they allow the guy to go overboard. So if you want to see that, show him overboard the same way too.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You realize that guy could have lost his life?
Troy, I think we have our emotions misplaced here.
There's just one thing I just want to make.
Emotions are misplaced here. My position is not here to I'm not justifying anything.
No, I'm just speaking.
My position is that of due process.
I'm speaking generally here. I want to make it absolutely clear. I do not believe this is a matter between Grenada and Trinidad. Like I tell persons, this has nothing to do with the great people and the many friends that I have in Trinidad, directly who I've met through Carnival and through the Calypso and Soca industry over the many, many years. This is an isolated case with one boat, one crew, one set of people, and should be treated in that way.
Thank you.
You know, and let's not cross the lines, please.
And I think that's
let us not cross the lines. You know, the people of Trinidad and Tobago has nothing.
Thank you.
And should not be held responsible for this situation. Let's not, and that is not. I don't think that is not my intention here.
No,
my intention here is to ensure that never again a Grenadian, most so a national hero, be treated in that manner.
And I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly. And the reason why I took that position, because I've been following the threat and the emotions that's been belching off of social media about that's literally promoting violence. And I'm like, no, people, we can't go.
You want to know what, and really and truly, you want to know what disgusts me the most? Is that we Grenadian people did not come to the rescue on the outside from what I was not there.
Right.
I've been reliably informed is Mr. Bihari, Shortleg, Boise, that really step forward and really start doing certain things there.
But how long did the whole escapade
long enough for how long was the video?
No, and also I'm asking is in the context.
How long was the video?
No. You're missing about to make it because I'm wondering. It's interesting. No, the point I'm making is interesting. The proximity of the boat.
The boat you saw where it was right on the ramp of the boat.
No, Troy, you're not getting me. I'm saying in the context of the proximity that even if folks try to make the argument that they're not getting involved, I'm saying the police station is just literally a water droplet away.
You know, they were close enough and close by to be videoed, and Grenadians did not step up. And I keep harboring on this. 3 weeks ago, that young gentleman clad in red, green, and gold.
And let's assume, Troy, that me, you, or anybody made the argument that we didn't know it was Anderson Peterson. That's for a split second. Let's for a split second. I think what should be searched, it should be spoken of even more deeply, is that culture that we've allowed to emanate, where we promote violence, we encourage violence, and even by sharing it on social media. That's the first thing people do. I record, I see Joseph Cutter doing this, I see Troy and Joseph in a fight, and the first thing we will do, let me send it off this. Why not jump in? Why not get the police involved?
Do you understand the implications of this? Do you understand the clear national implications of this?
There's a lot of implications to this, Troy.
You know, and again, that is why I think it's so important for us to respond to this in a timely manner, for us to be very thorough. And I personally, I'm hoping to see Anderson sometime this morning, and I will suggest that he seek all the legal recourse, because these are things that should not go. And I want to make it absolutely clear. As I speak, I see about my numbers. I can show you there are Trinidad calls coming in on my phone.
And let me tell you something.
And the reason why I'm saying so, there are loads of people. I can spend the whole morning. I have loads of friends and associates and so in Trinidad that I love dearly, that they will call me for the rest of the day. And this has nothing to do but with just one entity.
And let me tell you what our response should be, Troy. When this video popped up on my phone last night, you know what's the first thing I did? I was looking for Anderson's number. Where's Anderson's number? I can't find it. I called his coach. I said, Coach, I'm hearing reports of an incident with Anderson. Reach out to him. Make sure he's safe. After 10 last night, I spoke to the coach again. He said to me, he's in hospital, he's sick. I said, in the midst of all of this, all I want to ensure is that Anderson is safe. Let the legal ramifications, let it go on.
Do you understand?
Hold on. Our position, holistically.
Let us look in it. Do you understand? Suppose this guy has a damaged right shoulder, a damaged right arm.
And I've shared those sentiments.
Do you understand the implications?
I understand the implications wholeheartedly. And I think that greater violence on a whole should be the conversation that should not be condoned and entertained in any way, form, or fashion.
I agree with you. But this one there's a unique situation here.
And there's
a unique twist and turn.
And I agree.
And it wasn't Troy Garvey. It wasn't John Brown. It was Sir Anderson.
Let's just take a caller that is on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning, Mr. Kedo. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Listen, I just hearing about this incident this morning. And so I agree with you, really. It's a sad thing. He's our hero. We love him. Only last night I saw him on television, and I didn't realize how young this guy was. He's a young guy. I thought he was an older person. He's a young guy, and he just came into the country, and this thing is happening to him. I believe we as you say, don't let us get too emotional. Let the police do their work. They will do their work, and then they will take whatever drastic measures that has to be taken, and that's the bottom line of it. I pray for speedy recovery for him and his family, but let the police do their job, and I definitely believe 100% that the police will cross every dot and put every T's where it's supposed to be. I believe they will do a good job. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Troy?
Also like to reach out to his young family. He has a young kid, and it's just so touching. I have all confidence in Commissioner Edwin Martin and his team. All confidence. I've worked with the RGPF. I have all confidence. I say it publicly, all confidence, and I know. But I just want to ensure that we keep this to the front, because it's a culture, it's becoming a norm, and I think it's important that all areas step in. All areas, all persons step in to understand the magnitude of this situation here. I really hope that he will recover. I really hope that he will be okay. But most importantly, let us ensure that something like this never happen again. Personally, I don't think that boat should be allowed. I don't know what can be done, but Grenadians should be going back on that boat in defense of what was done to our brother.
And I'm with you 100% on that, and certainly the hope is that the investigation would be speedy and then full justice, and it would be meted out, and whatever the legal ramifications are, that would go on. But I think ultimately, unfortunate as it is, I think the greater conversation should be that of us and our response to social ills when we see it in public. It's unfortunate and at all ends that it had to happen, Troy. Whether it was against Anderson or some lame individual from the backside of some part of Grenada, I think it speaks to a really deeper, darker side of us as Grenadians, where we would see violence. Years ago, Troy, when you were growing up, you would be passing in the street, two guys are engaged in a scuffle, and we would stop, we don't know them, and try to separate them.
You remember
where has that gone?
When I started this conversation with you this morning, I took you back to the
pan
in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. Okay? As a youth playing mass, and what happened then. Right. I took you back to
why do you think that has shifted, though?
Well, a number of things. Society has changed, but that just still does not justify the level of disrespect and disregard for human beings. It does not. And my fear is, from all reports, is a culture in that entity. It's something that could have happened, and that boat could have left, and you just sail on and just like nobody's business. Fortunately, unfortunately, it had to be one of our national heroes. And you ask the question, and I want you to think strongly about it, that if that happened in Trinidad, to let's say to Otto or somebody like that, what will happen? Think about it and think long and hard. And I think as a Grenadian people, I'm not inciting violence. I'm saying that we should stand up. He carried us. Over the past month, this youth carried us. He carried the red, green, and gold proudly to the world. When he raised his arms, he raised it for Grenada. He came home two days ago to be up. I didn't have to come. I'm sure he didn't have to come. He chose to because of his family, friends, and Grenada Carnival. And we have some 5 idiots, hoodlums, aboard a ship on the Carnage that choose to react in that manner. And not just, if there was an incident, restrain him, hold him. What did they do? What did they do? To toss him overboard. If he was unconscious or something, it could have been a different story.
And that is wrong in all. There's no defense to that. But even while we focus on that, I think there is a great appreciation of what happens when alcohol and other elements comes into play. Who we are as a people.
But hold on. We have to be responsible, There have to be sober minds. And like I tell you, I've had the experience. I used to be in charge of hundreds of people on the road. who are consuming alcohol, enjoying themselves, and an incident like that ain't gonna happen because they are sober persons with responsibilities and know how to handle situations.
And that's why I'm suggesting, again, we get back to the point that there should be a thorough investigation. I know the emotions, it is right, people, they want to rip somebody's head off, and that I understand. But I'm hoping that we will use this as a point in our lives where we stop and we consider, Troy, who we are as a people, or we respond to
that's in the long term.
Ultimately,
that's in the long term.
But in the interim, we allow justice. In order for justice to be executed, then we must allow for due process.
Fair enough.
You must allow for due process.
I'm not disputing that.
Right.
But I'm not just wanting due process. I wanted a boycott of that boat.
And if that has to be, then so
the promoters and so who are waiting after, hoping for the incident to finish, to go back on the boat, like also dark moment.
Well, I would have found it kind of hard to believe that after an incident of that nature,
there were persons in line. That boat came in. There were persons lined up to go back out on that boat.
It speaks a lot of who we are and what we are not as a people.
You know, we have to embrace our own. We can't embrace Anderson only when he's in the World Championships. We can't embrace Karani only when he runs 43.45.
All of our athletes.
Everybody. We have to respect our people. We have to respect our own. We have to be proud of our national heroes. And he is a national hero.
And
he is.
In no arguments over that. And I think there should be a great appreciation for anyone. Once you wear and you call yourself Grenadian, as a human being, and I think that's what we're losing even deeper. But God forbid it had to happen, but maybe it may be a turning point in who we are as a people and how we respond. But I think before we wrap, let me just give you a few 30 seconds to make your final appeal. Anything you want to add?
Again, I've been saying I do not believe this is not an incident between two countries. We're two great nations, and there are so many beautiful people who have played such a wonderful role in our carnival and our daily existence. I know so many. This has nothing to do with Trinidad and Grenada. This is about the Harbour Master and the despicable crew on the Harbour Master and their practices. This is about how one of our national heroes were treated, and I hasten to say I wonder what he could have done to justify being treated that way. To be battered, brutalized, and tossed overboard by not one, not two, not three, but 5 men.
There should never be any justification.
You know, and also I am very deeply hurt to know that there was scores of Grenadians standing by and only 2 or 3 stepped forward and nobody didn't swarm the boat and take over control and... You know, but I see all this. I hope that the authorities will step forward. I will do in my little way whatever has to be done to ensure that, you know, this thing doesn't, you know, it's handled or there's some conclusion, some closure. And I will also to seek all means, all legal course, all actions possible to ensure, because, you know, we don't know. Was this gentleman's livelihood could have been shattered last night? We do not know.
Totally. And I agree with you 100% that there would be whatever medical attention he needs, that he would receive it, whatever the legal ramifications that it would be attended to. But I think let it serve as a pivotal point in our lives where we stop and check who we are as a people. A king not having honor in this country, we've heard it as an old adage. Has it come home? And I think we just need to get to the point where, as Grenadians, we show more respect and honor to those who go out to represent us on the high stage. To his families, friends.
I say one thing. Anderson Peters, I'm sorry, and thank you very much.
To his family, friends, to each and every one of us as part of the conversation. Again, as Troy said, while the emotions are ripe, there is anger. We do hope that there is also a measure of restraint in how we choose to respond. I saw on social media there's this outpouring that seeks to promote violence I don't think any one of us in any way, form, or fashion would promote or condone such a behavior. We do not agree with the behavior that happened last night. But we do certainly hope that we would remain let restraint and allow the law of the land to take its course. Until then, so long, everybody. JC loves you. Joy, in fact, it was a pleasure having you on.